welcome back to another episode of Leo Builds It. As you can see, I've taken out the first pocket door. I had to use my Sawzall with a metal blade, I should say, and cut off all the nails that were holding it in place and cutting down this mesh. I found that the 2x4s here have been sistered. The beams up here are sistered. So my idea of removing the soffit is not going to happen. This is load bearing. This is load bearing. I've cut the drywall with the Sawzall across up against the 2x6s, so that way I don't have to worry about trimming it back. I'm going to be removing this 1x6 over here for the backer plate for what used to be this pocket door in here, and then on this wall there's also a pocket door that my fiance wants to have a standard door, a standard swing door. So depending on how the demo of this wall goes, I'm going to measure down from the ceiling to get a basic distance to go between where I'm going to cut here and to go to the ceiling, and I'm going to go across this way. I'm going to cut down the seam of this wall and this wall, so that way I can remove the backer board that's here along with the tile, go across all the way around, and remove this wall as well, this half wall for the pocket door. Now once I do that, I'm going to start working on removing the tile and the backer board inside of the shower pan. I played it safe. I took out the fixture that was here for the bathroom. I've turned off the breaker so there's no power in this circuit. So I'm not as dumb as I may come across. So the next step after I finish ripping all this plasterboard out and all this backer board out is to go ahead and start taking measurements for sealing off this wall. I think I'm going to need at least 10 or 12 2x4s, so that way I can butt up against the existing framework and tie into it. So I'm going to start using that. Now, the other thing I did notice is that, and excuse the airplanes, we live in the flight path at Orlando International Airport. There is this steel vent pipe that goes in through the attic and up above the roof line, but it's also the drain pipe for the master bath. So what I'll probably have the plumber do, and if it's not too much work for him, is cut that flange off from this side of the backer board and then see about rotating that 90 degrees so that way we can have the drain going this way towards that wall. If it's too expensive, we might just tie into it, cut this out and just put a sleeve in and a sleeve down there, and then put a PVC T in between the sleeves, so that way it'll just drain into that vent. Also have to be very careful with the removal of the backer boards here. As you can see, that's a live polyethylene line, as are these. These are live. These have pressure behind them. The two up top here were the original zinc pipes, and you gotta love, for lack of a better word, redneck ingenuity. Apparently they cut the drain tube too close to the wall, so you couldn't get a fitting through. So what they ended up doing was they used a PVC drain for the vanity and then spliced it in with a piece of hose and 2 hose clamps. So as you can see here, I've already taken out the GFI outlet. I've extended it out as far as I can pull it. Excuse I'm gonna edit out the airplanes. So I pulled this out as far as I can pull it. I'm gonna go to the store and get some electrical tape and wrap it so that the leads aren't live, they don't come on live by mistake. As well as the wires up here, I'm going to pull them out. This is stranded wire. This should not even be in an electrical circuit. None of these fixtures are properly grounded, so I'm just going to I'm going to break apart the plaster here, and I'm going to unravel that wiring and take off the twist nuts. And it's dead as a doornail, so thank God too, because that would have been a shocker. And then just leave the solid core wire in here, and then buy a small 10-12 foot roll of Romex and just tie into that and have actual solid core wiring, which is what should be in place. Now when I start knocking this out here, I have to be careful because there's a light switch here that is tied into the circuit breaker, and it feeds that outlet. So depending on how we stage the bathroom after all the demo has been done and the walls are going back up, we might put the vanity here and the toilet facing this way. So that light over here will have to be relocated above this way over here, and I have a small vanity mirror in this wall, and then some shelves on this side for storage. It's a tight bathroom nonetheless. So my other idea was, my fiance wants to have a pantry on this side of the wall, and my other idea was to piss her off, essentially. Now I'm going to continue the demo of the bathroom, so the next segment of the video will be hopefully the cutoff here and here. I have my Sharpie and mark these out, so that way I know how far up I can go with the lines, as well as over here how far up I can go on this wall, over here on the right side of your screen, over here on this side, and then cut out all this, and then start knocking out the shower pan as well as the rest of the back of the board.